Welcome back to Roguetech, and welcome back to Challenge Run from the Ashes. So, for those of you who missed the last several episodes of Wibbly Wobbliness, I have slightly tweaked the economics. We are now generous contract payment, generous salvage. Everything else is the same, except the shop selling price is now 5%. So the only way we can really reliably get money is from taking money, taking C-bills when we're doing missions. I did a quick refit of the Bushwhacker and Dervish. The Gnat is still very much something we're going to have to put time and money into to get back up and running. We still do not have an engine core that's small enough for it. Currently we just have the... it doesn't even show them whenever it's too big. We have a 250 and 275, I think? Either way, both way too big for a 20-ton chassis. I purchased... Oh no, I'm going to purchase another AC2 half bin before we travel, because A, it's super cheap, and B, I'll show you once the repairs finish, but I realized if I get a pair of AC2s, or anything that uses AC2 ammo, I can slot that in instead of the pepperbox rifle. I don't know if that'll be better for the Thunderer, having AC2s or something that uses AC2 ammo instead of the pepperbox rifles, or at least one of them, but it gives me options, potentially, and I like options. Now then, there's nobody left that we want to hire from the hiring hall. There's nothing else we are interested in buying from the store, which means this is the moment where we're going to travel. With the 7 days until the financial report, we could only reach outside of the Tortuga area this one Federated Suns system. I am not ready to leave the Tortuga area quite yet. I'm enjoying fighting pirates, and even though Tortuga is in the system there, I'd prefer to fight in systems where pirates, the local pirate organization, is present for now. Pirates bring some interesting stuff. So the two systems that are lower rated than the one we're on, to give us more low difficulty missions now that we've abandoned the challenge run dropping on craziness. At least for now. Again, with the asterisk that we can always go back to it if things get too easy. But I definitely think filling out our roster, or filling out our, mech bay and vehicle bay is going to help us be able to do more tense missions moving forward. For now, though, we've got 14 days until the fighting starts, which means we should arrive in the middle of that. Unless it just is over before we get there. No, we'll still be traveling for a good bit after that. So we don't know if that'll still be going on. This one definitely won't. It's already going on, and it's only 3 versus 6, so that'll be resolved by the time we get there. But those are the two systems that I'm looking for. New Gascony and New Haiti. However, if we can, because it's 75,000 C-bills to travel to them, we're going to look and see if we can have Newport Royal, 27 days. We're going to see if we can find one that is... No, they're all Newport Royal. There is no travel contract. Oh, wait. No, they are all for Newport Royal. Okay. Well, that's fine. I was really hoping to save the 75,000, but there are no travel contracts to the destinations we want to go to. So that means there's nothing left to do but travel, unless I want to drop in the store and sell something. Because if I sell something, maybe we can get more work done on... right now, the 75,000 travel is 621 and change, plus 75 is going to be 696. So we will have less than 50,000. That's not a lot of work we could get done. But if I go to the store and sell a couple things, maybe we can get some work done on the Gnat. Except the selling prices are abysmal, so nothing is really sticking out as something I'm willing to sell right now. I mean, C3 Slave, maybe. All companies with C3 Master Gear. We don't have any yet. That said, if we find C3 Master Gear and we don't have the slave, then it's going to be sad that we sold it for a paltry 12,000. Nope. 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 Alright, let's go. We're traveling. So, I don't think I'm going to be strong enough to drop on the priority missions. I don't have enough units yet. So, I'm actually going to go to the 1 Chevron planet, or system. It's 5 less days of travel, 27 versus, 32. And it's a 1 Chevron difficulty, so that means we'll be able to drop on missions up to 3.5 chevrons. Because we have a 2.5 chevron variation either direction. But that also means the majority of the missions will be 1 chevron or lower. And yeah, it's a rocky world, so our heat should still be, our heat should be better. But we'll probably still be a hair toasty. Just because we do have some hotter builds. Yeah, we're going to stay normal. So originally the 2-2 was because if you go extravagant, it's a 33%, I think, increase. And then if you go Spartan, it's a 50% decrease. They changed it so instead of it being a flat amount, it's actually a percentage. So your mech bay and medical works at half efficiency on Spartan. On extravagant, it works at 33% additional. But we're going to just stick with normal. It makes paying the bills easier once we get there, while not sacrificing so much mech tech that we will have to, wait until the next financial report potentially to drop on a second mission. Assuming the first one goes well. Okay, Phantom Pain. I remember that this event is because Porin is cautious. If I authorize a second medical examination and nothing is wrong, I'm pretty sure she loses cautious, which means it becomes 1 accuracy easier to hit her, and also she gets 1 accuracy. If I refuse to authorize any further examinations, I think she could become rebellious, and I think she could potentially be injured or die. And I'm pretty sure the order of the medtechs to perform exploratory surgery costs us money as well as taking her out, whether there's something wrong or not. So, okay, I authorized the second. She lost the tag cautious, so she is no longer generating an extra evasion, which, as long as I put her in stuff that generates max evasion, 8, then it doesn't matter anyway, and we lose the -1 accuracy, so I'm happy with that. And the medical points we weren't really using too much. We're still going to be, our injured people are going to be healed up by the time we arrive. So, yeah. I'm happy with that. That's fine. Good job. Let's go. Oh, right. I guess I'll show once we arrive. I'll go over the changes I made in the mech bay. There's not many, and I think they're for the better. I think they're just all for the better. I can definitely say, just off the top of my head, that the VTOL now has standard LRM ammo instead of extended range. Huh. So, Sarge on the crew. If I just delete the message, nothing happens. If I talk to Sarge, I believe that Sarge can either get dependable or rebellious. I really like dependable. Okay. No lasting consequences. That's fine. Definitely better than her becoming rebellious, but I would have liked to have her get dependable. Just less likely to panic eject. Alright. New Gascony. Hello? I clicked the continue. There we go. Alright. So, before we go look at missions and store and hiring hall and everything. Scorpion, exactly the same as it was. Pirate Thunder, exactly the same, but I will show. this half slot of machine gun ammo is the only ammo slot in the entire vehicle, which means if we run anything that needs ammo in place of the pepper box rifles, one or both, it needs to be a half bin of ammo that goes there. And then we lose the machine gun unless we replace that with something with internal ammo. So that's a consideration. Oh, that AMS flare was supposed to actually go in the Dervish. Whoops. I guess it'll go in after we drop on a mission. But yeah, the Dervish... Oops. I did not click it before clicking. There we go. The Dervish... I replaced the medium laser and one of the SRM2s with the light PPC, in addition to the engine heatsink removal -1, and putting in the double heatsink that saved 0.25. The Gyro XL freed up some tonnage. It freed up 1.5 tons, so that gave us the rest for the light PPC as well as some extra armor. So we have slightly more armor almost across the board. Arms were already maxed. But then we also have a light PPC instead of a medium laser and SRM2, which gives us more medium and long range firepower at the expense of, well, I say at the expense. It also prevents us from running out of SRM ammo as quickly. So that means we now have, since we're firing 12 instead of 14, we have something like 14 Alpha Strikes of SRM ammo. So it's 150. I think 14 times 12 is... Regardless. Maths. Yeah, we got a light PVC now, so we'll be able to scramble and fire at longer ranges with it, which is good. It also, hilariously, is the exact same heat as a medium laser and an SRM2, so... Yeah, that's the biggest change there. And the Bushwhacker... As I was planning, whenever I picked it up, I put the heavy PPC in instead of the heavy PPC with capacitor Pirate. So one of the changes that I didn't think about before doing it is that there is no minimum range with the heavy PPC plus capacitor. So whenever we're going in and punching somebody, the heavy PPC will have a within minimum range massive penalty, which means the integrated TSM is less likely to be used, which is, you know, unfortunate. But we can always swap the heavy PPC plus capacitor back in. I used the extra ton, since it's 11 tons versus 10, to drop in a half bin of LK ammo for our LRMs, so that if we want to do damage from range, we can. As well as dropping in the Angel ECM instead of the Guardian ECM. So IFF Jammer replaced the AMS, which should, theoretically, as long as we're at a distance, make it so that they're less likely to be able to get the sensors on us, which is a +4 difficulty to hit. And if we're far enough away that they also don't have visual, then that's a +15 for no visual or sensors. Firing blind is devastating. So we're hoping that that's a better Bushwhacker, but we'll see. We will absolutely see. And I can always, you know, quickly swap it back out. I think it took like 1 or 2 days max to do those changes. So, as far as missions, we have actually way more 1.5 than I was expecting to see. Huh. Alright, so that's how the RNG decided to go. I'm fine with it, but yeah. 4.5 is, I think 4.5? Or is it 4 is the highest? What's the difficulty of the system we're on? Okay, 4.5 is the highest. So we're at 1 chevron. We can have up to 2.5 chevrons higher than that because of the difficulty variance of 5. We can also have 2.5 lower, but, well, 2.5 lower is just still a half chevron. Let's check the store before we get too far into anything. That's not much of a store. There's an SRM and medium laser Pegasus. I do miss having a hover tank. That was nice. And the Pegasus does have some decent armor. Mockingbird does not have decent armor, but it does have accurate weapon laser. So it's pretty reliably going to be able to hit if we had the 2 million to buy it. That said, armor has been a very big part. Oh, here we go. AC2, 10 damage. Crazy range, 960 meters max, but 10 damage. So it would have to be something interesting that uses AC2 ammo for us to put it in the tank and place in the pepper boxes. Right, we should also check the hiring hall. Chancellor? Hello, Chancellor. So we've got criminal, spacer, ex-military commander. That starts off with all 3 skills unlocked. 8 guts, 5 gunnery. Hilariously, it's not exactly a combination I would want. Berserker with stability damage reduction. Not ideal. Like, if you're gonna go with the Berserker ability, you kind of do want to brace after melee. So we'd also have to spend money to respec, but that's just funny that that's there. Anyway, we have Dust Ball. Cautious. Literally just cautious. Well, I mean, yeah, merchant. But then we have Gunrunner. Ex-military, brave, spacer, merchant, Mechwarrior. Solid. I absolutely intend to hire him at some point. He can also pilot VTOLs, lambs, tanks, and mechs, so good deal. Weasel Cake. Weasel Cakes is technician, spacer, criminal, ex-military, Mechwarrior, brave. Again, solid. Enki is honest. So we've got Igor Teshin, zombie. Reckless Mechwarrior. That's fun. That is fun. Cool. Moving on. We need to drop in a mission to pay for the financial report. I mean, 2 Chevron assassinate sounds fun. 1.5 capture base is less interesting. 1.5 ambush convoy. Could be some easy money. 2 Chevron blackout. Could also be easy money. Also really good salvage. But yeah, I think we'll start with the 2 Chevron assassinate. We do have the option of evacing out if it gets too hot after we kill them, but we can also look at who's... So we're against Tortuga. So I should probably actually see about a job for Tortuga first, before we damage our reputation with them. So right now we are getting... What are the bonuses? Plus 15% job payouts. So let's keep that. I think I still go salvage. Again, trying to build up our available units. And this will also probably be a fairly easy mission to just kind of get a feel. Ek is getting out of the Dervish, Sarge is getting in it. I would much rather be putting Sarge in a faster stealth unit, but it is what it is. Right, last thing to check. Barracks. Everyone's healed up, everyone's got experience, so Sarge is able... So we could go for max sight and sensors, plus 1 advanced sensor rolls. Good. Stability damage reduction. Good. And we could also go with clustering and crit chats. Also good. I think... we're going to go for the max sight and sensors. Again, we're going to be putting her in something that is stealth and possibly long range. That is the best way to use stealth, so again, Phantom being the end cap that we're looking at. I'm just a big fan of it. Plus 5 tactics, beautiful. Or at 5 tactics, plus 1 sensors. Plus 1 advanced sensors is beautiful. Tinker. Tinker we have as a tanker. Clustering rolls. We could also go Leadfoot. 10% increased movement distance, plus 1 hex. Right. Doesn't apply to mechs or battle armor, but he can't pilot mechs. That would give him more mobility, more maneuverability. And I think we're going to be... You know what? No matter what vehicle he's in, that will help. If he's in a long-range vehicle, the max sight and sensors might be better. If he's in a hover tank, then escapist might be better. Porin we're going to hold off on using for a second. Again, just the fact that she brings more crit and jam chance into the equation. For everyone. We'll hold off on using her for a second. Yeah, once we have some more time in the simulators, Lifter can be 4 gunnery, 4 tactics. That'll make him a lot more interesting to use. We have options. As far as VTOL pilots, we only have Poron and Wasp. I mean, the gunship does get 9 evasion, I think. But that's without escapist, and I think that since it's just barely 9, I'm pretty sure like 8 evasion is what he usually gets. Pretty sure that that's not going to be significant. Right now I'm just going to give him the 4th gunnery. It's good. That's good enough. Tinker... Which vehicle would we put him in, actually? If we put him in the Thunderer, the extra crit chance on the Pepperbox rifle is interesting. But if we keep putting him in the Scorpion, then the advanced sight sensors is definitely the choice. Or is it? Actually, no. Even if we're dropping him in the Scorpion, the extra mobility will keep the Scorpion safer. Yeah, nope. We're going to go with Leadfoot. Just generally good on any vehicle, regardless what he ends up spending most of his time in. Okay. Who's our other tanker going to be? I mean, we could run Porin. Does the PPC Pirate have recoil? Yes, recoil of 3. I have been completely disregarding that. No... Oh, it does have... The Pepperbox Rifle's recoil of 5. So firing, skipping a turn, then firing again actually will help accuracy a lot if we're struggling to hit things. I could potentially give her a 4th Tactics or 4th Gunnery. And the military would reduce the recoil by 1. Alternatively, we've got Ek, who is also military, and can drop in tanks. I think Porin eventually wants to be in something different. So we're gonna level Lifter up. Continue dropping him in the Thunderer. Sounds good to me. Now then, without further ado, Command Center. Work 4 Tortuga, and then work against them. 625 primarily to try to pick up another vehicle. And... Wasp. Tinker. Keep dropping Lifter in that. And then Dervish gets out for Sarge. And even though the Dervish is not getting anywhere close to max evasion, the minus 10% visibility does help. Again, if they have no sensors or visual, that's a plus 15 penalty. So, yep, here we go. Alright, 1.5 chevron ambush convoy, complete with a 2 chevron lance. Oh wow, that's some cool thunder. Alright. Weather map shows a large thunder cell is right above the area. Expect a light show. I don't know exactly what that means as far as like gameplay impact, but this is where I'm supposed to intercept the supply convoy. I can't drop anywhere here, so I assume this is where one of their supporting lances is. Alright, then I'll take the high ground. Cool. So,
I've got eyes on the target.
Yep. Convoy guards, supply convoy.
What can I do for you?
Weather effects. Thunderstorm. Units sink an additional 8 heat per turn. Visibility and sensor strength is reduced by 20%. And missile weapons have a -2 accuracy. Awesome. That's all good for our little stealth mechs. Yeah, I can jump down here for 8. Then brace. Ah, I forgot to toggle the Angel ECM. I need to remember to toggle it to active until I'm on top of people, which I can only do during per turn. And then the DI gunship, yeah, just start swinging that way. Cool. Tracked APC.
Ready to rock.
Scorpion LRM. Get some extra evasion, swing down this way. Alright. And yeah, anytime you're facing any kind of weather, you can hover over the weather icon and it'll tell you what it does.
What do you need?
So we are definitely going to be able to get a vehicle out of this. There's quite a few to choose from. We'll see which ones are in good condition once we're done, you know, shooting and smashing and grabbing. Yeah, move and brace. Cool. And here's the Mockingbird.
What's up, boss?
Mockingbird has metal.
Affirmative.
Bring the Pirate Thunderer down to position. And I think we are facing a simple enough force. Alright, first round of actual combat. So the MASH truck has 2 support missiles. I don't know exactly what those are. Alright.
Oh, that really hurt.
Alright. That. Bombs. Right. Bombs. And he's also tagged.
I took a critical hit.
Oh yeah, the Navi has the... Hey, listen. Okay. When facing a bunch of VTOLs, don't stand with your units close together. I know better.
Good to go.
I know better and still didn't do it. So the Kill a Mockingbird does not have, or has not acted yet. So I think this is very much a fallback and try to take it out of the sky. Flames on the way, yeah. Well. Yeah, there's no way for me to get out of here that doesn't have flames on the way. Alright. It does have some hefty armor. But I can't get into its side. However, I can sprint around here.
Affirmative.
Cool. And I think this is actually an LK shot. Just trying to kill. 34.5 on the heavy PPC, and because of the cooling, it's actually going to be harder for us to get the Radical Proto Double Heatsink kit on in a single Alpha Strike, but without the rain, we would.
Firing everything I've got.
Nice.
That's
Alright.
a kill.
That's one VTOL that did not get to drop their bombs. That's good. That's important. Yeah, I can move for 9 or sprint for 10. There's nothing too concerning in this mission, now that the bombs have already been dropped. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Navi. Just get as much hit chance as possible. Not a ton, but a little bit of damage.
Yeah?
Alright, Sarge in our new, longer ranged stealth dervish. I think staying in... Oh wow, did we just get that bad of a sensor check? Is that... is that why? What was our sensor roll? Yeah, -3. Okay. So actually... if I sprint forward a little bit, like so, I can get just about everything in an EWS ping.
I've got a sensor lock.
Good deal. That'll help us. That'll help everyone else land their shots. Hummingbird. Alright. Our Pirate Thunderer, luckily, is able to soak damage. So, even though they're hard focusing him, it's fine. Alright. Good times. I hope the lightning sound effects aren't too loud. Alright. We're doing good. We are doing good. That was 105 damage. What? How? Thunderbolt 15. Alright then. That's terrifying. Okay. Ultralight rotary rifle on the Hummingbird. Very low armor though. The Navi has the Tag Hay, Laser AMS, Large Pulse Laser Pirate. Dropped all the scary stuff already. Mockingbird has 3 mediums, already dropped its bombs. That Bradford with its large chem laser and Thunderbolt is just absolutely terrifying. That, I think, is the highest priority. Bailey armored car, small pulses in an AMS. Tracked APC, machine gun array. And then mine dispensers on the mash truck. Alright. Yeah, we're just gonna focus fire the Bradford. That can't be allowed to live.
Primary target damaged. Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Alright. Pilot consciousness threshold 1 of 3, but he is not bleeding out. That's important. The Navi is dangerous. That Hey Listen will give them all sorts of everything. But it also has insane armor. So I think I just have to kind of ignore it for now. I should have looked at my armor. Okay, it's pretty evenly split. So there's not really a side I should turn towards yet. Soon enough I will need to turn and start showing my back. But not yet. Structure exposed. Beautiful. Love to see it. Okay.
Waiting for orders.
So the Bradford is open on the side.
Yep.
Sarge has quite a few damage instances. That is too close for the light PPC. That is not. I will forego the 1 evasion to get the better hit chance. Switch to SRM. Standard is fine. Just need damage to land.
Let her rip.
I say as none of the missiles hit.
Commander?
Alright, I don't want to risk that thing actually surviving. That said, I kind of also want to use my high pinpoint on something else. Like maybe the Bailey. The small pulse lasers will be accurate. There's also the Mockingbird. Those 3 medium lasers could do potential damage. And I do have a really good hit chance on it. Yep.
Affirmative.
I'm gonna go for the kill unless... Heat? Heat is not a problem. Alright.
Right, Commander.
Eh? Nope, just the heavy PPC landed.
Confirmed.
Okay, Scorpion. Absolutely. 4 evasion. 4 evasion. Optimal hit chance. Finish him, please. Thank
Primary
you.
target damaged.
Alright.
Concentrate your fire and bring it down.
Cool.
Standing by.
Now then. Getting into the back of the Navi. Switching to SRMs. And beginning the process of trying to take it down.
Confirmed.
Right, it has the AMS. I forgot about that. So non-missile units should definitely be the ones focusing the Navi. Understood. We do also need to keep on the priority targets to make sure they don't escape. Actually, we definitely need to just focus the priority targets and make sure they don't escape. Where's the evac point for them? Oh, way over there. Okay.
Receiving you.
That's not so bad, then. Yep. That's an acceptable hit chance.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
Coolant crit. Okay.
Reporting critical hit.
Alright. I am happy to take any crits I can get on that thing. What does a coolant crit even do to a vehicle, actually? Sensor locked, sensors crit, sensors crit. Oh, energy weapon power decreased 25%. Interesting. Oh, it also has reflective coating. So ballistics It has missile defense as well as energy defense. That's cool. I would love to have that thing. So my heavy PPC will actually do reduced damage to it. That's crazy. Yep.
Moving fast.
I'm gonna work on getting over here. Oh, right. The Angel ECM. Well, since I'm on top of all the real threats, that's fine. Ah, the heat was nominal. Since it didn't kick in, we face the risk of overheating. Now I regret not going for the Navi. Oh well. I'll go all in. It's fine.
All weapons are go.
Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, we shut down, right?
My heat
Hey,
is
we
pretty
didn't.
high.
What are your orders, Skipper?
No shutdown. Beautiful. The Scorpion LRM is not going to be able to do much to the Navi. Honestly, isn't going to be able to do much to either of them. So, moving towards intercepting the convoy.
Aye, aye, Skipper. Full speed.
And
No target.
firing at whatever the highest hit chance is. 12.5. 1%. 17.5. Alright. Mockingbird. Also 17.5. Actually might kill.
Now let's see how we handle this.
That's hilarious.
Eliminated.
Point blank LRMs.
What do you need?
Alright. Go for the Bailey. Okay. Go with tandem. Actually, I'm gonna go for the tracked APC. It has ammo. Theoretically could explode. Or, you know, the damage is
That
just
one's
enough.
gone.
That works too.
Orders?
And I've noticed no reinforcements dropped, even though we've almost destroyed the convoy. So that's cool.
Location confirmed.
I guess they're not going to reinforce. Navi is slowly but surely taking damage.
Commander.
I think I would absolutely take the Navi.
Affirmative.
I think that's the most valuable thing I could possibly grab off the field here.
Acknowledged.
Structure exposed. Love to see it. Unfortunately, that was my last activation. So, yeah, I'm actually really glad I went for full salvage, even though it's, you know, just tanks and VTOLs. We need units.
Commander?
But this is definitely far less tense than most missions. That's fine, though.
Right, Commander.
So now that our proto is active, we can get one turn of coolant flush where we're not overheating.
Affirmative.
Alright.
I may need some more time in the simulator.
That was not a good use of that one turn.
Yes, Commander.
Yeah, I should probably focus down the convoy.
Coordinates.
Killing this guy is the most important thing on the field right now, since apparently we're not getting reinforcements.
Locking in all weapon systems.
At least not yet. Maybe once we destroy the last one, reinforcements will drop. Regardless, here goes nothing.
Accuracy through volume of 5.
Alright. The Navi is very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Systems holding. Waiting for orders.
Yep.
Acknowledge.
Here's hoping.
All weapons are go.
Nice. Okay.
Enemy down.
So we've got one convoy unit and one VTOL. Which, it's firing its light rotary rifle
Yep.
×1 every time. So, kind of a joke. Yeah, we're gonna move. Keep our hit chance as solid as
Roger.
possible. Try to kill.
I'm taking the shot.
Structure is exposed, but he is not dead.
Let's do this.
But surely he will be now.
Moving to position.
Surely he dies now.
Taking the shot.
Get to land to the LZ,
Cool.
Commander. I'm coming in.
No, we're gonna finish him off.
Waiting for orders.
I wonder if it is just that Tortuga has, like, crazy stuff.
Coordinates received.
Why is it showing no heat? Were we just so far over the heat threshold that the coolant flush last round only got us that low? I don't know. Maybe.
Got it.
Alright,
Enemy down.
that's a wrap.
Mission successful.
Okay. 500,000. Yeah, the Pirate Thunderer got pounded a little bit and Lifter got injured, but that's fine. Please give me the Navi. Heck yes. I believe that's built in, so it should repair. AMS Flare may not exist. The engine core, heatsink, engine, that should all be in place. The large pulse laser is intact. Beautiful. The laser AMS is intact. Beautiful. The tag hay is intact. That is glorious. Effect lasts for 5 rounds. +2 bonus accuracy. Narc beacon, built in. +2 detailed information. Reduces target's stealth, ECM, or mimetic by 2. Makes them 50% easier to detect and see. Yeah. 10 evasion pips ignored by this weapon, +10 accuracy with this weapon. That's amazing. And it keeps all of its bombs. Yep. That's what we're taking. Which means we can disassemble that. And we can disassemble that. And now we get 5 additional priority picks. AMS did get buffed, so that half-ton plus ammo is actually like super valuable now. Thunderbolt 15 Deadfire Quick Cell ammo. Penalty to accuracy, but times 1.4 weapon damage. That's why it did 105. That's actually super interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. 4 shots there. 4 shots there. So we'd only have 8 shots unless we found more ammo somewhere else. But that's too interesting to pass up. Alright. Ammo, machine gun quarter. Huh. Wait, do we have anything that uses large chem lasers? No, it's small chem lasers that we need ammo for. Machine gun array. So machine gun array uses machine gun ammo, but it expends 4 ammunition per shot. And it's super short range, but that's 40 damage. Or you can use the burst mode and... Oh, and there's also unlinked. So I guess unlinked is just 4 instances of 10. And then burst would be... what? 12 instances of 5? That is super interesting. I am definitely grabbing the machine gun array. Which, we don't have any machine gun ammo. Uses 4 ammunition per shot. This would actually be 10 shots. That's interesting. So, for 2.25 tons, I have a very filthy, backstabbing light mech. Or for 3 tons, I could just never run out of ammo. I mean, that said, the only real advantage of the machine gun array over running literally 4 machine guns is slots. It only takes 1 ballistic hardpoint instead of 4. Medium pulse. I think that's more interesting than the machine gun array. +2 clustering. +2 accuracy, +2 clustering. That's pretty interesting. Large chem laser plus ammo is basically a large laser for 4 tons instead of 5. That can only fire 10 times. And there's also just the bomb, the high explosive wing mounted bombs, which the Navi... No, it was the AMS flare that was destroyed. Yeah, the bomb cluster, bomb guided, bomb fey. If any of those get destroyed at any point, it would be kind of cool to have that. I think I am going to drop the machine gun array in favor of the medium pulse. Am I? Same tonnage, same damage, energy hardpoint instead of ballistic hardpoint. The Nat doesn't have a ballistic hardpoint, but the Nat also has a bunch of energy, so putting small lasers or small pulse lasers on the Nat is more interesting than one heavier. But the range is up to 300, which is longer than a standard medium pulse laser. This is a tough decision. I could honestly also look and see if any of these 3 hummingbird parts. That was, yeah, that was one of the paper. So no. The mockingbird, on the other hand, is more interesting. And the fact that it has the medium pulses and the medium chem lasers means that it could actually host 4 energy weapons along with the bombs. And for a 15-tonner, that's respectable armor. But we really don't have any. Whatever. I think that the medium pulse is hilarious and interesting. Do I honestly... am I going to run the Thunderbolt right now? I don't think I am. Which means I can drop the Thunderbolt ammo. I'm going to definitely take the Thunderbolt 15 Deadfire Quick Cell. That's just too interesting not to. But I think I'm also going to take the other really interesting pick in the medium pulse. So I've got 2 of those now, which is amazing. Ah, there's so much good stuff. And we got basically the entire hummingbird. 4 parts out of the 5 we need. Only 1 mockingbird part. That's fine. Bradford IFV part, cool. 2 tracked APC parts, cool. The things we pick, and then just a random ammo machine gun. That's fine. I'm always fine with the things I priority pick being the only valuable stuff I get. Navi, give me a bottle and I'll catch it. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time reference. Good times. 100,008 days, not bad at all. It does kind of put us in a crunch for the financial report, though, but it'll be fine. Also, vehicle bays, Navi, refit. Alright, so if I repair everything, the AMS flare is the only thing that was lost. And we could actually replace it. Do I prefer the AMS flare on the Navi? Or do I prefer it on a mech? Because right now I don't have any other specialty slot items. And I'm pretty sure I can't just like drop in something like that. Yeah, should be special. So it would have to be a special slot item. The AMS flare is fun. I mean, again, it's got reflective coating. Which on a flying unit is insane. Increased melee damage taken, increased area of effect damage taken, more vulnerable to through armor crits. But like, if we're intercepting every missile ever, and we're taking half damage from energy weapons, that's... anything but ballistic is going to have a hard time taking this thing down. And it has very respectable armor. Love to see it. Alright. So we definitely want the Navi, Dervish, and Bushwhacker. 5, those will all be up. 6, 7, everything will be up. I mean, we could even get a day's work of the Nat in, and then drop on a mission for the financial report. Also, in the store. Right. Very minimal store. Alright, that's fine. I was gonna see about engine cores, but yeah, very, very minimal store. But if we're dropping on low-rated missions, we should get a low-rated core pretty easily at some point soon. Replace leg. It's 2 days. Revert. Arm. 2 days. Alright, so armor it is. Do that. Wow, I can repair a lot of armor. Huh. Cool. Alright. I mean, that's already going to be 19. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We'll just set it up for all the repairs. That way we can just drop an engine core in it. Just drop an engine core in it and be ready to go. What's the tonnage? 9 tons for 175? Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Whatever. Figure it out later. Ready to go except for the engine core. Cool. 7 days. Pause. Alright, yeah, we'll go over pilots and all of that next time. For now, that's been your episode of Roguetech for the day. I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, have a good one.